Hi everyone, I'm Wesley from Unaufadox Productions and welcome to episode 18 of Creating Bass Loops Live, the live stream where I create bass guitar loops for all you wonderful music producing producers out there. So in this video, I'm going to recap I posted a video to social media on Monday. So I want to speak a little bit about that. Then I'm going to listen to this, which is a track which I'll get into a bit more later. I want to listen to that and then, I need to take a sip, 1 second. Yeah, I want to listen to that and then I'll create a bass line to that. And this bass line will be 10 minutes long. And once that's done, you'll see me upload it and you'll be able to buy that loop. Exactly what I created. You'll see the red bar come up here and down here. You're able to buy that using the QR code which is beneath the video. So I mean, you could buy it now, you could pre-order it now, but yeah, I'd wait and see what I create, make sure that you want it. And yeah, then you'll see me upload it to my site and then you'll be able to go and get it, and then I will see if there's any feedback or anything, and then I'll end the stream. It's a different format, so if you've been following me, it's a slightly shorter format. So in previous videos, I would then go on to edit the bass line and show the capabilities of such a long recorded. But maybe I'll go back to that, but I'm trying this for the moment. So let's get into the video, shall we? So on Monday, I posted a video to social media about a potential competency gap which is opening up in various industries, I would imagine, but in particular the one was talking about in a university. So there were these students, and some of the students were able to use AI to do some what they call some classic business consulting. So I imagine so they had this project and they had a client and had to present it to the client. So some of the students split up into teams. Some of the teams could use AI and everyone could use AI, but you had to disclose it. So some used AI, some didn't use AI. And whilst the results on the surface were better than the uni had ever seen, with the AI students compared to the other students, which was, it looked rougher, a bit rougher. When it came to the presentation to the client, the students who used AI it wasn't as cohesive, and it's like they didn't fully understand the issue. Like the findings were showing that they didn't fully understand the issue, whereas the students who didn't use AI, whilst rougher in appearance, they fared better when it came to the presentation to the client. And so the article went on to speak about this in more depth, but for what's relevant to this video is how I feel it has an effect on music. Like people are using Suno and other AI generative AI pieces of software, and coming up with great arrangements, as in fully fleshed out lyrics, mixed drums, choruses, verses, introductions from prompts. And it's looking at this example that I gave on Monday, if you had to present and say, someone said to you, what key was that in, or what chord progression are you following then? How would some of the people using AI respond to that? Do they understand what they are doing? And I think it's an important question. So I just got some notes to the side just to keep me on track, because I do like to talk. Kind of mixing some, because I've been into this lately, so I'm kind of mixing another video's content. But it's like, so you use AI, and whilst the results are better, what is the understanding like? And do people care about the understanding? Is it just, you want the rewards or the praise for this thing that you've put out there. So, you know, you ask AI to create a track, and, you know, it might take you all day to get it where you want it to be. And then you put it out. Do you say that, yeah, I use this, I created this with AI? Or do you take all of the rewards and the praise yourself? Like, what is it about? Because I know with music, for me, it's about it's about me. It's about my journey, my fun, like my joy. It's about the time when I hit the wall, as in, you know, I came up against something which I didn't know the answer to, and then, you know, I looked into it and I didn't get the answer straight away. It may have taken a couple of days or whatever, but then the answer came. But I stayed in the game. Like, I stayed focused on what I wanted to happen, and it eventually happened. Like, that journey for me is everything. I would say more than the rewards, like more than the praise, because sometimes when you create and you get praise, sometimes it feels like confirmation. So whilst you're humble in the moment, it feels like there is a sense of, yeah, I felt that. Like I thought that. Someone's like, oh, it's amazing. And you could almost be there with the same energy. Like, oh, yeah, I know, right? It's amazing. I mean, that could be taken as arrogance. It can be taken as confidence. I suppose it depends on the recipient, right? But yeah, what is it? I wonder, like, for you out there, like, what is it? What is, it's like, what's your game? Like, what are you into it? Why are you into it? So music producers out there who use AI, why are you in this game? Is it for the rewards? Is it for the praise? Is it to be seen? Or is it to do the actual thing? Is it to actually create the music? Yeah, and why do I care about this? Like, why even bring it up? I mean, it's a hot topic at the moment, and there's a lot of dialogue flying around about it. So that's one reason. Like, it's cool to get in on that. But like I said, I'm really into the joy of the process. So I would, if I could, you know, encourage people who might be thinking about, you know, getting into music, and maybe starting with AI, to start elsewhere. Like, start by getting a DAW, like a digital audio workstation. Like, it doesn't have to be this. I use Logic. It doesn't have to be Logic, because, you know, it can be quite daunting when you start looking at all these colourful buttons and all of this stuff. Like, you could get something like GarageBand, or I'm not really sure what else, in terms of ease of entry. Maybe Fruity Loops. I started on Fruity Loops, and it was you know, this is before how-to videos on YouTube. Just kind of taught myself, really, and it was cool. So I would recommend that. I would recommend, if you're interested in something, like, learn to play an instrument, because I remember back in the day, I didn't think that was important. It is. Like, it is. And it maybe that's like an exaggeration. Maybe it's not that I didn't think it was important. I didn't think it was, like, it wasn't perceivable for me to start playing an instrument. I was into Fruity Loops, and I was doing my thing, and that was that. It was only later on that I even entertained the idea, and then, yeah, got a bass guitar, and 7 years later I'm selling bass loops. And it's been an amazing journey. Like, since I picked up the instrument, amazing. Can't recommend it highly enough. And yeah, and I'd want that for everyone, man. I'd want it for everyone. The highs and the lows, I'd want for everyone. Like, it's an amazing journey, learning how to make music, and like yourself. And I think there's, not that I've tried it, so this is just my opinion, I think there's more joy in learning an instrument, learning how to program in a DAW. I think there's more instrument. I think there's more enjoyment in that than learning how to construct, you know, the perfect prompt to get the AI to create a sound that you really love. I just think there's more. It's more multifaceted. Like, you know, learning basses, you know, hand-eye coordination, two different, like, your hands are doing two different things. It's like linking both hemispheres of the brain, it feels like. So yeah, I'd recommend that. Absolutely. Put hours and hours into that. It's very rewarding. And then you get to, play music with others. So that's cool too, man. That's wonderful. Being on stage, going to jams, that's all wonderful. Cool. Yeah, and just lastly, so I'm just reading my notes. They're a bit far away. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just the part about learning, like learning something new every day. Like I practice bass 5 days a week, and then I rest. But I feel like I'm learning something all the time with music, and practicing bass enables me to express myself more freely when I get to produce this kind of music, like this music that you're gonna hear soon. It's my music theory knowledge is all through it. Without that knowledge, I couldn't have made this. So yeah, man, I would say find a door, pick up an instrument, and get practicing. Cool. Okay. Let me just check my yeah, cool. All right, so this track that is on the screen, so let's move on to creating the bass line. So this track that is on the screen is in F major, and it is at 100 beats per minute, and it follows a chord progression of 6, 5, 2, 3. And what that basically means is, so if I just zoom in a bit, so you see these numbers 6, 5, 2, 3. So for this portion of the track, it is a D sharp minor chord. For this portion, the 5 is a C sharp major. This portion, the 2, G sharp minor, and then the 3, A sharp minor. So I'll just play that loop quickly. So that is and it's just that looped over and over again. So what I will do is I will record a bass loop, and it's a bass loop because essentially I'll create a groove, and it may last this long. Let's say it lasts 8 bars, and then I'll play that over and over again until I get to the end, which will be here, and it's about 10.5 minutes. So I'll loop that over and over, but it won't be the same. Let's say it was F sharp, so it's not going to be that for 10 minutes. There'll be some there'll be variations throughout. And the reason for that is, so back in the day, I would browse through loops and they lacked that. So say the loop would be this long, 8 bars, and that's wonderful. But a typical verse is 16 bars. So okay, that's going to be the same. So that might be fine. Right? But then what about the chorus? And then what about verse 2? You're going to have the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with repetition. You need repetition, but as you'll hear, so what I'll do is I'll create, it'll be a simple-ish groove. And then over time, there'll be like a little change here, a little change there, but the fundamental groove will always remain the same. That's the repetitious part. That's the part that I'm teaching the listener to enjoy, so it becomes familiar as quickly as possible. And then a little change here or there just to keep interest, like some some cherries on top, some decorations over time. And that's why I feel the real strength of these bass lines is, typically you'll have a loop out there that you can buy from a loop provider, and it will be 4 bars, it'll be 8 bars, it could even be 16 bars. But this one I'm offering here is 256 bars. So you can just imagine how many different variations you're going to get, and then with those variations you'll be able to chop, cut, paste, move. You'll be able to maybe do something which I didn't play. It'll be kind of familiar, but I didn't play it because you've moved stuff around and been really creative with the source material that you scanned the QR code and bought from me. And then on top of that, in terms of exclusivity, so from the first person who buys this loop, a 24-hour timer will be triggered, and then after those 24 hours are up, I remove the baseline from the site, I delete this live stream, and I'll delete any social media clips that I've used with this baseline in, to promote things and show what I'm doing. So I basically clear my contribution of this baseline from the internet. So if you purchase this, you may well end up being the only person on earth with this baseline who has heard this baseline, until of course you make your track and make it a hit, and then the whole world can enjoy it after you've worked on it and the rest of your instruments. So yeah, so that's as I said at the top, you'll see me create this baseline, and then you'll see me upload it to the site, and then it'll be available, and within 48 hours I will go back through the recording and make sure that it's of a high standard, because there's sometimes it's over 10 minutes, so sometimes I might have an idea but it doesn't make it to my fingers in time, so it happens a bit late, or the groove, like I want it to feel good. So I'll go back through everything and just make sure that it feels good and it feels right, and then I'll upload that as well, and then I'll also upload a version with no processing. So let me just make all of that make sense, right? So tonight, what you'll get once I've finished recording is you'll get the bass line processed but not edited. So processed, so you'll see all of these processors. So like I'll quickly go through them really quickly. So yeah, an EQ, another EQ. This is some distortion, which I quite like, man. And then another more distortion. But it also, like this one, also tamed the bottom end of the bass, which I quite liked. And then some buses, which this plugin helps it come through on your phone. It helps it come through on smaller speakers. This as well. I just really like the character of that, man. And another EQ. And then a widener, so that it feels more stereo, but not the lower frequencies so much. And then I'm also affecting that wider sound. And these are on buses, so these are sends. And if you don't know what sends are, then please let me know in the comments, because it's kind of beyond the scope of this video. Cool, so I think I'm going to get into the recording now. There's also a melody which is running through this, so it's a 3, 2, 6, 7, and all that basically means is when the 6 is playing, there's a melodic there's an A sharp in the melody, and then while the 5 is playing, there's a 2, and then a 2, and then a 6, and then a 3, and then a 7. Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna get going with that. So I'll have a listen, and then if I feel something happening, I'll hit record, but that won't be the main recording. I'll let you know when the main recording is happening. That's just to make sure that I keep the idea, because I may start playing and then start talking again for like 2, 3, 4 minutes and then forget what I had. So cool, I'll just play. I'll also zoom in a bit so you can see the chords as they go past. avoid this. It's just tricky. Like the beat wants me to do that. Like it's so natural. Drums are like, they're really it's like they lean in this direction. Want to sit on this 6 because I want to explore how the different notes sound. So you got these degrees, right? So we're going 6 5 2 3. So 6 5 2 3. So I want to stay on this 6 because while it's the 6, like the D sharp, I can play any of these notes and they all sound a bit different. It's like varying degrees of harmony without dissonance. And so, you know, harmony feels good, dissonance doesn't feel so good, but you can like be harmonious, add a bit of dissonance, and then go back to harmony, and it feels good. Like it feels nice. Dissonance is your friend in music, just like in movies, like a good story, like the hero's journey. Starts high, goes low, that's kind of the dissonance, and then you have the happy ending. So I just want to explore a bit at the moment. So 6 5 4 3 2 1 7 6. So two sounds nice. Okay. I do like that though. Dum dum. Let's see. Alright, I will hit record. Oh yeah. good. It's just a bit basic. It's a bit basic. Like it's catchy, but it's just going to be 10 minutes. And of course I could add the variations, but yeah, it feels a bit basic. Go with that, you know. It does feel simple, but I feel like this note, like as I keep coming back to it, it feels cool, man. So yeah, I'm gonna get going with that. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so that was cool, right? Oh yeah, these are the ones when I was doing my test earlier. In fact, no. Yeah. So I'll make this green. Yeah, so that was cool, right? But I felt... So it's like, yeah, where was I? And then doing... I don't know. Feels like it might have got old. Like, so it's cool. So I'm playing. So I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm playing. I'm having fun with what I'm doing. And it's all good, right? So I'm moving around and it's interesting to me, but I just wonder, like, did that get old? It's interesting. I'll record these, then I'll finish and I'll be like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I think because, so as a whole, you know, over the span of 10 minutes, I'm thinking, we had something interesting, rather than listening to the whole scope of the 10 minutes because, yeah, I feel like I need to be, you know, feeding the machine, feeding ideas into the baseline. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So I wanted to keep this video below 60 minutes so that I can post it to TikTok. Once I go through and edit the sound, once I edit these bass lines and then upload the two versions, as I said, so a processed and an edited processed and an edited unprocessed. Once I get those done, upload them to the site, I'll replace this video's audio. So what you would have heard in maybe, you know, if you're 48 hours after the broadcast, what you would have heard is the product that is for sale, edited and, you know, timing adjusted and all of that good stuff. So yeah, whenever you hear, providing it's 48 hours after the broadcast, whenever you hear one of these loops, just know that that's the product. I have edited it and it's how you would buy it. These live streams, I guess I'm playing bass and yes, it's, you can see, but this is part of this is to so, you know, AI is very popular these days, so this is the human experience. You see me playing, you could talk to me, ask me questions, that kind of thing. It's just the human to human vibe, but it's not necessarily about, you know, how good I am on the bass. It's more about interacting, sharing, learning about what goes into it, buying the bass lines, checking out the previews, commenting, all of that good stuff, like the human interaction aspect of the live. Like, that's why I like to go live. Cool. All right, man, let me upload both of those. So that's them uploading. Just make sure that's saved. Yeah, so this was the alternative, right? And I'll have a listen to these. Maybe, as I said, this one isn't as, maybe it's not as limited as I think it is. Maybe it's more creative than I think it is. More refined. Maybe it's more refined. So you hear the top note. I just wanted to play notes, but maybe this one's more refined and there is a suitable amount of variations and interest within it to stand on its own. If I do find that to be true, maybe I'll edit this one first. If I do find that to be true, then maybe I'll post just this one. Maybe just the first one that I did. I'll see how strong it is. Cool, so that's saved and this is uploading. Yeah, once that's done, I think I'll be done. So yeah, I do this every Wednesday evening. I'm turning the screen down so I can stay on that screen. It's just a bit bright. Yeah, I do this every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. British Standard Time. Create these bass lines, 10-minute bass lines with the 24-hour timer attached to them. Yeah, I just love doing this, man. The inspiration behind this was I used to practice. Well, one of the inspirations. I used to practice, and I used to create bass lines during the practice. And then, you know, over the span of, I said I practice 5 days a week. So over the span of months, I've got a stack of bass lines, and they're getting good. And I just thought, well, why don't I share this? Why don't I make this available? And then, that was one of the ingredients. Finding an online place to sell it, that was one of the ingredients. Being confident enough to go live and create a bass line on the spot, like as soon as you hit record. That was what, because I don't practice for these bass lines. I do check the levels. You'll see me on social media. I do check the levels. But what I create in the moment is from the moment. It's not... I remember something that I did and it was pretty good. Let me just bring that into the live stream. That's not what it is about. But yeah, so that's done. So let me save that. And then I'll just view it. So that's it. So you could go to the site now with the QR code, add it to the cart, buy now. And then later on, you'll get so it'll be a total of, at the moment, let's just say the typical offering is 3 files. 1 processed, raw, unedited, 1 process edited, 1 unprocessed edited. You'll also get the MIDI data from the project, so the chord progression, so the 6523 chord progression, so this 6523. So you'll get that in data form, so you'll have to add your own instrument to it, but the data will play these chords as you heard them. And you'll also get a companion PDF, which gives you a bit of insight around the bass line, some of the notes, the chord progression, key signature. Yeah, man. Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's it for tonight. Follow me on social media, and by follow I just mean stay in touch with what I'm doing. I'm posting videos often, and as time gets on, I may start posting. So you see in this project, I've got these bass lines here, which was when I was testing the levels. Over time, I may start offering these as well. I don't know under what circumstances, but stay tuned for things like that. I have more ideas and things to come. Plenty more to come. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, make great music and enjoy life. And I will play this track and then I'll end the stream, just to let the latency catch up.